Hi everyone, welcome back to the another session of Case Forum. So let me ask you something. When you think about your MBA, what's the timeline in your head? First year grind through academics, crack internship season, second year placements. That's a standard script, right? But what if somebody told you there's a program that puts you inside Hindustan Unilever, one of the most respected FMCG companies on the planet, before the entire journey even begins? Properly. That's exactly what HUL Foundation School is. And today we have someone who has lived that experience firsthand right here to break it all down for us. I'm really glad and welcome to our guest Srishti Yadav for today's session. Welcome Srishti.
Hi everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
So glad to have you here. Let's start simple. Tell us little about yourself. Who are you beyond the program and the college?
Right, okay. So I'll just start off with my formal introduction first. So, hi everybody, I'm Srishti Yadav. I am born and brought up in Bombay. I completed my engineering in 2022 from VJTI and post that worked for a year at JP Morgan Chase as a software engineer. Then I think near around in April 2023, HUL Foundation School happened, which was then called as HUL Changemakers. Changed my life quite a lot. So I got an internship from there. So I entered I.M Kozhikode after giving my CAT. Did my internship at HUL as a ULIP intern in finance domain, and got a PPO as well. So right now I am having my full-time job at HUL as a finance manager.
That's really
Yes.
nice. But let me introduce her from the HUL Foundation School side as well. She has received the PPI as well as the PPO even before joining the B school. So she has completely flipped the script that we usually lived in IMs or in your B schools, right? So glad now before we get into your journey, let's make sure everyone in who are going to watch this get to know about what HUL Foundation School actually is, because there are a
Right.
lot of students who don't fully understand and know about pre-MBA programs. So can you just explain what it is and how does it work and why should every MBA student who are going to join B school should know about it? Okay.
Okay, so I'll start off with a very basic introduction about HUL Foundation School. It's kind of a pre-MBA crash course, right? You learn everything about business. How does an FMCG work? Be it marketing, be it finance, be it HR, how do different functions, come into one cohesive picture and form a business? And then you also witness the breadth and depth of HUL, definitely, all the brands and everything actually about how an FMCG works. So they make sure they, make you witness that. What happens inside Foundation School once you become a part of it is firstly you connect with a lot of people, and these are people who are going to go into your, the cream B schools of the country for sure. And you have a good network even before you enter your MBA program. That's one thing. That's like the one of the major benefits for sure. Second one, of course, the knowledge that you get across domains. And the third thing is the interaction you have with the industry leaders in HUL. That's also huge. You get to interact with people, you get to shadow leaders. That's also a very, very, very great thing. Lastly, I mean, last but not the least, you get an internship offer right before you even enter your B school. If you do well, so on the last day of your foundation school, you have an assessment and it's about all the things that you have just been taught about, and you just need to, make sure you are absorbing everything and then put it out there. And if you crack it, then your first year of MBA goes just stress free. That's what HUL Foundation School gives you. It's a direct entry into HUL internship program, which is called ULIP. And yeah, that's about Foundation School.
It's very nice. So, how does it different from your time to this time? Because as you mentioned that in your time there are certain changes and they have completely changed the criteria now. And one more thing I wanted to ask, during your time also, was there any eligibility criteria for colleges? Like only certain colleges can enter or can participate in HUL.
Yeah, okay. So see, I was a part of HUL Foundation School in 2023. At that point of time, I'll start about my journey, how it went. So I think in December 2022, just after the CAT score came, yeah, I think that was the time. Just after the CAT score came out, there was this pop-up on the Inside IIM page saying, this is the HUL Foundation School, and this is something you would want to get on your CV, and they are marketed pretty well. And I remember just one of my seniors from VJT, and during my BTech days, was a good senior I had. She was a part of this particular program, and that's how it just, it just got a feeling कि ठीक है, maybe let's do it, let's see how it goes. And I applied without knowing much. I did not even know what was it. And to be very, very frank, it just said that you can put this on your CV. It's a very big thing because only 45 students across the country are going to be invited to HUL head office. And all of these things were like, that excited me more than anything. So that's why I applied. That was my motivation to apply to it, because I was also not aware of, ki, what is it all about exactly. So that's how I applied to the program. And after that, I think during sometime Feb or March, probably late March, yeah, late March, they gave us a link for a AI based interview basis our profile. So profile consisted of all our scores from 10th and 12th, and our stream, where we are working, what profile are we into, and the CAT score. Plus, I think they had also asked about what all calls have you got later on, or I think I don't remember exactly, but they knew, I think. I'm not sure about that one, but yeah. So, but they had our CAT scores for sure. So that was there. And basis the entire profile they had built for us, they gave us a AI interview link. And there was, I think, a 3 or 4 day window to attempt that. During our time, there were 4 questions, all business based. One was about a skincare brand which had a declining market share online. How will you boost it up? What steps will you take for its correction? That was the first question, I think. Second question was regarding the digital currency that RBI had launched, CBDC. And what impact will it have on economy and businesses? Third one was, I think, you're a brand manager of laundry products, something, and the R&D team has found out a new formulation, right? And which is more eco-friendly, but it's expensive. Now, what will you do in that situation? That kind of a question it was. And fourth one was more towards AI, as in how do you think AI initiatives like Metaverse, ChatGPT, etc., will impact the way businesses work? So we had, I think, 1 minute to prepare for the answer and 2 minutes to answer it. So that was all about the AI-based interview. So that went pretty well. I think I was able to answer majority of the questions in the way I thought what's the right thing to do. I think that was there. After that, I think in April last somewhere is when, yeah, April last week is where the foundation school started for my time. April 1st or second week, the HR connects with you if you are, if you've qualified the AI interview round. And after that, they ask you your particular domain that you would want to be a part with. So please say it with considering this possibility that you might end up with an internship in HUL, and consider that in your, subconsciously just think about it, whether it is it marketing you want to go into, or do you want to go into finance, because they, I think, gave 2 options to us. So you can either opt for S&M or you can opt for finance. HR has a different track. HR has a completely separate process. At least in my time, that was the case. So there used to be one foundation school for S&M plus finance and another foundation school program. I think just after the first one for HR track. That's how it was for us. And after that, once they ask you, they will let you know if you are in. And then you have 3 days full loaded with sessions, learning, fun, networking, dinners, parties, etc. At HUL head office. You stay there, you eat there. They will, take care of everything, right from your commute, stay, and food, etc. We just want you to network, make sure you have fun and a lot of learning. Last day is the day, the D day, wherein you have your assessment. They will test you on all of the things that they have taught you. If you have heard it well, if you have paid attention, you'll be able to crack it. I think half of the people were offered internship, if I'm not wrong, out of the 45 of us, in different programs, of course, S&M and finance. That was the thing. And that's how we were signed out of the summer internship process even before we entered our MBA program. Yeah, so that was all about HUL Foundation School during my time.
That's really
Right.
nice. It's really like a lot of a journey though, like you have gone
Yeah.
through. But I think it's a mix of fun and tension at the same time when you are preparing
Right.
for it. So how does your preparation phase looks like?
So I think it's preparation in a way, it's more of a profile-based shortlisting, firstly. And the second part of it, if you get through, if you think, see, I think one thing is for sure, if you are someone who wants to crack it in the next year, of course, then please start working on your profile. I mean, it's not only beneficial for this HUL Foundation School journey, but also for your B School journey. That's very important. So please start working on your profile. That is one thing. Secondly, have a clarity in your mind what you want to do. Is it S&M or is it finance? That's a step two. And because once you've selected S&M, you get the internship. That's how your entire journey would look like, right? You would get into S&M, just see how the career trajectory looks like, connect with people on LinkedIn, connect, see their trajectory of career trajectory and everything, see how the career trajectory of finance people look like, and just figure out where do you want to be. I think that's the second thing. Third thing, with respect to the AI interview, that's the most tension wala part in the entire preparation, I feel. So for that, I think it's more of a business aptitude that you need to develop, and that comes over time of how you look at businesses. And I think this year it was a little bit different. This year it was a two-parted AI interview. I think one was situation judgment test, and the other one was a Hogan psychometric assessment. Now, Hogan psychometric assessment, of course, you can Google it up what it constitutes of. For situation judgment test, it's also about how do you not contradict yourself, contradict your answers. There will be situations given, and basis the situation, you'll have to find out what would your response be in that particular situation. So this time, I think from now onwards, they have become very practical in terms of the questions they are giving in assessing the students. It's not just the business acumen, because I mean they are aware that you're still, you're about to enter B school. You're not B school students as of yet. So that's how it has a little bit changed over there. But yeah, on a preparation note, I think newspapers helped a lot, because a lot of things come directly from economy and businesses, economy impacting businesses, investments, etc. So that's how it is. Newspaper helps a lot, I think, current affairs predominantly. Apart from this, I think more towards a business acumen in terms of you knowing what are costs, what are profits, what are revenues, and having a little bit of sense on that. I think that would help. Yeah.
Okay, so when you mentioned that newspapers and economics related knowledge and current affairs in general, so how much is it domain knowledge really matters? Like knowing about FMCG, since it's an FMCG, and knowing markets, knowing brands. So versus compared to how you are presenting yourself in the room, the presence, the thinking, and the way you approach problems. So what
Right.
matters more there? Or did you
I
actually
think,
prepare
yeah.
about actual background as well?
Okay, so I'll be very honest. I did not prepare about HUL background enough. I did not even know what brands are there in HUL at that point of time when I was giving my video interview. That time I was not aware of anything. I was just giving it with the respect of business knowledge plus economics, etc. That was the baseline foundation that I had in my mind. Knowing about your domain, S&M or finance, not really, not required. You are not B school students yet. You have not even started your B school journey yet. So that is not required for sure. You don't need to stress on that. Now, on the second part of your question, I think it's very important of how you present yourself. See, in a setup like this, it's very important to carry yourself the right way. Show your curiosity, show that you're mature enough, show that you can lead an organization, you can lead a team, etc. Because at the end of the day, I mean, even if they recruit you as an intern, then it all translates into a full-time position job at a leading FMCG company. You need to know how to lead people, and you need to know how to present yourself. So that's one. Secondly, I mean, the questions you asked there over the with the leadership team over there, and how you shadow them, what type of questions you ask during the frequent interactions. Everybody kind of has their eyes on that. So apart from the assessment, they also kind of monitor that as well. So make sure that you carry yourself pretty well once you're in the program.
That's really insightful though. So looking back now, what do you think genuinely separated you from that whole cohort which has attended this whole program?
I'm not clear on your question, sorry.
I'm asking like, what is that one thing which, sets you apart from that whole cohort and bring you in those 45 students from Pan India? What do you think that one skill
Right.
or that one ability you think you have, keeps you apart from that crowd? The thinking ability, or is it your way of approaching your problems? What is that one thing?
I think it's more of presence of mind because these are the questions which you do not know, right? Once you've been when you're giving your interview, the AI based interview, you do not know the questions beforehand. So when it flashes over there, it's just your capability to think on your foot. Yeah, and think at that very moment how to prepare, what to say. You just have 1 minute to prepare your answer. So that's very, very important that you know how to think on your feet. I think that's one thing that separated me. And then the second thing I think is the curiosity that I have. And it's always good to be curious, especially when you're surrounded with leaders of an leading FMCG. I think that's very important. I think that also helped me to carry myself into the program. And I went there with a very, very positive attitude, very positive mindset. To be very honest, I was not hoping for an internship at that point of time on the first day itself. I was like, I just want to learn things so that I can be a step ahead from my future MBA batchmates. That was my mentality with which I entered the program. I think that also helped me pretty much. So then you don't focus on the results too much, you just focus on the process more. Yeah, that's it.
That's true, very true. So, what's that one thing that you took away from your foundation school journey that you genuinely didn't think you would have gotten from the MBA alone, and that sets you apart in MBA itself? Or let's frame it in such a way that did it really help you in your MBA and sets you apart
Oh,
from the MBA cohort?
absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they teach you so much in the first 3 days, be it your marketing management class, be it your finance class, or any other subject that you would be handling in the first term itself. You already have a huge leverage. You know a lot more because you have seen the industry. In those 3 4 days, the actual people, they make sure you witness everything, right? And you know a lot more than your batchmates. So absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
That's really nice. So now coming to the part, like since this year a lot of changes have been made and you are being part of HUL now as well. So what is that one advice you wanted to give to the students who are being part of a foundation school and next year as well?
I think, see, a couple of them actually. I think I've already mentioned just trust the process more than the result. That's very important. That's first. Secondly, just have a very, very positive mindset with everything that you see there, right? Don't be overwhelmed. People tend to be overwhelmed because of the entire, when you witness things over there in the HO, Mumbai HO of HUL. You tend to be a lot more overwhelmed. Just keep yourself up, right? And I think apart from that, for the preparation part of it, please make sure that when you decide to do an MBA, you are also working on your business acumen. I think that's the most important thing, which will get you through the AI interview and also will get you through the entire 3 days of the program. And definitely, you're going to land an internship with HUL if you have that business acumen. Because I think at HUL, this is what we want. We need people who can lead, who have a purpose to lead, right? So I think these are the most important things when you come to HUL.
Very true, very true. So now there is one more question. This is the last question though. So when you started your preparation, was now you
Right.
look back and now was there something that you felt like I should know this at that time? The journey would have been different, or is it like you still love that journey, the all part, whether all the mistakes, the myths
I
that
think,
you have?
the journey is beautiful not only because of the perfections, but also because of the imperfections
True,
that were
true, true.
there.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, and I've obviously, if ever in life you look at yourself back, 2 years back, of course you'll feel you have grown in maturity, you've grown as a person. But I think it was just perfect the way it was. Definitely, that
That's
was the
very
thing.
really.
Yeah,
Thank you, Srishti. Honestly, thank you so much for being here and for being this open about the whole journey to the people.
right.
And I think the things that stands out most from this conversation is that HUL Foundation School isn't just a line on a CV. It's a real experience that changes how you think, how you
Definitely.
show up, and what you're capable of. And hearing that from someone who has actually been through it and makes it much more tangible. And I think this will really help those students who are now preparing and going to prepare, and they'll get this opportunity, since lot of students don't know about HUL and these pre-MBA
Correct.
programs and
Yeah,
how valuable they can be. And I
that's true.
myself didn't know about HUL during my time, and since now I'm getting, so there's always that thing like I might have known about it and it
Correct.
would be a different
Correct.
ball game then.
Obviously,
So
obviously.
thank you so much. And to everyone who's going to watch this, if there is one thing to take from today or from this session, the opportunities exist and they are accessible to everyone. The only thing standing between you and them is whether you decide to go for it or not. And like you can learn from Srishti's journey, she just opt for it. It's not like she know about it and
I was
she'll
just
feel hesitated.
curious.
Yeah, she just go for it. So thank you
Yeah.
again. This was a brilliant session. And for everyone else who are going to watch, share this with someone who needs it and who needs to hear it actually. And see you in the next one.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.